President Trump wants the Supreme Court to step in the legal battle over the White House ballroom. Last week, a federal appeals court ruled the White House lacked the authority to build a $400 million project without congressional approval. Let's bring in CBS Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes for more on this. What more can you tell us about the president's ask and why he's taking it to the high court?
Well, because he wants to keep building the ballroom, and the appeals court said that he needed to stop. And so now the White House is going straight to the top, to the Supreme Court, where they're making the argument that this is all about security, that if they were to stop work on the ballroom, it would not only have an impact on national security, but on the safety of the president himself, because there is this underground bunker that is being built as part of the ballroom complex, that there is the intention to have snipers on the roof of the ballroom. And they say this project is already 65% of the way done, Lindsay, and so they need to go ahead and complete it. So now it's going to be up to the Supreme Court. And, then, of course, the question is, if they say that the White House didn't have the authority to build this complex, well, what happens then? Because so much of the construction has already been done.
I mean, the appeals court basically said, look, President Trump, you're a tenant. You can't just come and bring a bulldozer here to this. This belongs to the people. You don't own this White House. What else can you tell us, Nancy, about sort of how this is thematic in terms of the renovations he is trying to make across Washington, D.C.?
Well, I think the president's philosophy as a builder has always been move fast, ask questions later. And so there are so many legal battles over his projects all over the city. But the goal really has been to move quickly. And then if there is some kind of legal challenge, well, once you've done the project, once you've done the work, who's really going to stop you? How do you go back in time to before this project was completed? That's, the Kennedy Center is a great case in point. There are legal battles taking place. There are people who challenged his decision to do all kinds of things there. First of all, for his Kennedy Center board to put his name up on the building. A judge back in May said that that was unlawful, that nobody can change the name of the Kennedy Center but Congress. And then the Kennedy Center board turned around yesterday and tried to come at it from a different angle and say, OK, well, we won't rename the building, but we'll just inscribe President Trump's his name on the building underneath the sign and say that he is the one responsible for the renovations. So we'll see what a judge does with that. We'll see what that says to the public when, after all, the renovations haven't been completed yet at the Kennedy Center. They're just getting started. The board wants to close the facility for 2 years to do it. A judge has said no to that, too, but they're still trying to go ahead with the closure anyway.
Quickly, while we have you, Nancy, the president was in New York, a state with which he has a complicated relationship. Did he make any news?
He talked a lot about the war in Iran, and he made the case, Lindsay, that the blockade, the U.S. naval blockade, is going really well, that's a big bright spot, that the U.S. has basically a wall of steel in the Strait of Hormuz, as he put it. The problem is that the whole point of that blockade is to squeeze Iran's economy to the point that Iran then gives up and opens up the Strait of Hormuz to commercial traffic. And so far, that hasn't happened.
Nancy Cordes, thank you.